at you live from Colorado, out here back in the backyard in Silverthorne, Colorado. Thank you guys all for being here. Back to the usual Monday live streams. As you guys know, just recently got back from the Euro trip with Kevin. Had an amazing time out in Europe, traveling all over. Huge shout out to everybody. Had a great time with Kevin, Yannick, Narav. Shout out to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. It was a really fun trip, and I think it was pretty productive as well. So thank you guys all for being here. I see a lot of comments coming through already, which is awesome. If you guys want to let us know where you're joining us from as well in the comments, it's always awesome to see where everyone's joining us from. Love the community that we have here on Snowboard Pro Camp. Also, you know, just gonna try to answer as many questions as possible. So here in just a minute or two, I'll go back up to the top and start getting to those questions. If you have a really important question that you want highlighted, you can always do a super chat as well. Another great way to help support the channel. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of that. But yeah, I've been in Colorado for a few days now. It's a fairly cold day out here today. We're actually supposed to get some snow tonight. I'm not sure how much. I originally thought it was going to be a pretty decent storm, like maybe 8 to 10 inches, but I'm thinking it might be just a couple of inches, but still I'll take any snow that we can get. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go ride tomorrow, and then I'll actually be heading out again back to meet up with Kevin on Thursday. Have another awesome trip lined up to Japan, so that's gonna be coming up soon. A lot of more really fun videos coming for you guys. So yeah, if you have any questions regarding, you know, snowboards, products, anything like that, I'm happy to answer that for you. Really anything you got, just let me know. And one quick announcement, I do have some new merch available that I'm really excited about. This is actually a really limited run, but I'm hoping to get some more done soon. But I actually have the Board Archive hoodies available. So super stoked on these. Literally just a few right now available. So if you guys are interested in those, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments once the live stream is over. So yeah, got some other gear that I'll be showing you guys probably on the Japan trip as well. So really excited about that. And also I'm going to be hopping on my Patreon just for a quick like 30-minute hangout after this. If you guys want to join me there, that's going to be patreon.com/board archive if you guys want to hang out and have just a little bit more of a kind of casual conversation going on. So thanks again, you guys, for being here. What's up, David Jones? I saw you you hopped on the live stream. Good to see you, man. You and Matt been killing the videos. Awesome to see the collab there. I'm gonna go ahead and just scroll up to the top and see what questions we have coming in today. I actually think I already saw a super chat come through, so I'm gonna get to this guy first from Martin Walgren. Thanks for the super chat, Martin. Any thoughts on the Burton trick pony? Yeah, so the trick pony I was actually able to ride with Kevin. That's the board that we're riding in the second Burton step-on video in North Star, California. Really fun snowboard. It actually is a good bit softer than I thought it'd be. I'd say definitely softer side of medium. Really fun kind of freestyle focused snowboard. Reminded me a lot of the Lobster Park board, honestly, except obviously it doesn't have that triple base technology. So yeah, if you guys are keen to check out that video, I feel like that board had really similar performance, good pop, decent stability, but still really pressable. A lot of fun in the park. So yeah, the trick pony's rad. Hoping to hop on a lot of Burton boards. Pretty much my plan is after the Japan trip, I'll be back early March, and like March and April, really just going to be trying to crank out a ton of board reviews, written and video reviews. So that's going to be coming, and I'm hoping to hop on the trick pony as one of those. Absolutely, man. Thank you for the super chat. Another super chat coming through here from John Smith. Thanks, John. Appreciate it, man. Hey, TJ, choosing between the GNU Hypercarve and the T-Rice Pro. Looks like the GNU fits better for powder, but I see no reviews of this board. Did you or your friends have a chance to test out the Hypercarve? So I actually know 100% that I will be doing a review on the Hypercarve for you guys. That's going to be coming early March. So if you can wait that long, we'll have the full video review. But you're absolutely right. As far as powder performance goes, videos, the Hypercarve is definitely going to perform better than the T-Rice Pro, and that's going to be primarily because of the setback stance. So the T-Rice Pro, awesome snowboard. Kevin's been riding that one, as you guys have been seeing in the videos. He's been loving it. Just really solid snowboard, and it does pretty well on the powder as well. But the Hypercarve is going to have that kind of next level powder and carving performance because it's got that setback stance. So if that's what you're looking for, you know, primarily powder freeride performance, I'd say go for the Hypercarve. The cool thing about the T-Rice Pro is that it's a little more freestyly. So if you're hitting natural features, you're landing switch, riding switch, stuff like that, you're gonna have better performance out of the T-Rice Pro. But the Hypercarve, I think, is gonna be more for carving and powder, absolutely. And you're gonna have, you know, a lot of similar tech, you know, with the magnet traction, a similar rocker camber profile and all that good stuff. So I hope that helps you out, man. Thank you for the super chat. All right, scrolling back up the comments here. Looks like, yeah, we've already gone beyond the top. I think I can only see like the 100 most recent comments, which is awesome. Thank you guys for all the questions here today. So we got Nick Lenny asking the easiest way to check speed for a rail. So I would say, you know, when you're coming into a rail, say you already have your trajectory lined up and you just want to kill a little bit of speed, just do a quick scrub, just a little sideways, just sideways action. That's typically what I do, and that way you're still keeping that same line of trajectory, but you're killing a little bit of speed. And you know, you have the ability to go real quick or hold it for longer, so you can kill as little or as much speed as you want. So that's the way that I do it. Yeah, pretty straightforward if you have your turns down. So that's what I'd recommend, man. Let's see. Max Coco, where do you ride in Colorado? I'd love to shred with you. I'd be stoked to shred with you too, man. Yeah, if any of you guys ever see us out on the mountain, make sure to say hey. Love to meet you, get a lap in if we can. I primarily ride Keystone when I'm in Colorado. That's just the closest mountain to me. I've also been riding Breckenridge and Arapahoe Basin a good bit, hoping to get out to Beaver Creek and Vail more as well. That's pretty much all the resorts on the Epic Pass. So but primarily I'd say Keystone. So if any of you guys ride Keystone, keep your eyes peeled. I actually did just get some new outerwear, so I'll be letting you guys know what I'm gonna look like out there in one of the videos coming up in Japan. But yeah, gonna be rocking the Board Archive hoodie probably all the time now as well. Really stoked on it. All right. Zane Deegan, what do you think about some rub-on wax? Yeah, I think, you know, rub-on wax is definitely good in a pinch. It's not really a long-term solution. You know, maybe it'll hold up for a run or two. I've seen it used most in like snowboard racing. So, you know, if you're like a border cross racer doing some giant slalom, anything like that, throw some rub-on wax right before your run and it'll give you like a little bit of extra speed. But if you're really looking for that, you know, that wax that's going to last all day or for several days, you definitely want to go with a hot wax. So I know there's some videos on the channel if you guys have questions on how to do that, but that's definitely gonna be the best way to maintain your snowboard, I'd say, with a hand wax, hot wax. Kvicken from Sweden joining us. Awesome, man. Good to see you. Mark Holmes from Yorkshire, UK. Good to see you, man. Radmasters from Stargard. Andrew Kim asking Union Force bindings or the Burton Mission bindings. I would say that the Union Force is definitely going to be a step up performance-wise from the Missions. But as I've said before, you know, I typically only recommend Burton bindings if you're gonna go on a Burton snowboard, because you can go with the Burton EST. If you go with the Burton Reflex bindings, which is what you're gonna have to do to get Burtons on any other snowboard, basically, you're gonna be sacrificing a little bit of adjustability. So basically, you're just gonna sacrifice your stance width adjustability a little bit. So if you're okay with that, you know, you could definitely go for the Burtons, but I would recommend the Union Force for sure. That's actually the binding I've been riding all year and I'm really hyped on them. They've been really solid for me. huge shout out. We got 300 people on the stream with us today. That is amazing. Thank you guys all for being here. Almost to 100 likes as well. If you guys want to give the video a thumbs up, we can get it up to 150 or even 200. That would be amazing. I'd be super stoked to see that happen. But yeah, hyped all of you are here. I'm just going to keep running through questions, and at some point I'll do a speed round as well to just really try to answer a lot of you guys. But for now, just going to keep going with the more detailed answers here. Wilfred Carey III, what are the best turns for steep terrain? If you guys didn't see the steepest chutes in Austria video, I definitely would check that out. That's some of the steepest terrain that I think we have on video on the channel. And when you're in that steep a terrain, really you're going to be looking at kind of like hopping from your heel to your toe edge, especially when it is that steep. You know, a lot of the time, most of the time, it's not going to be groomed, so it's going to be kind of choppier terrain as well. So you're not going to be able to get those smooth carves. You know, maybe hop on one edge, get a little bit of a carve going, and then do a hop over to your other edge. Otherwise, you know, say if you're on like a black diamond that's just really steep but it is groomed, I would focus on really doing tight turns that take you horizontal across the slope, and then do another quick tight turn to take you more horizontal across, just so you're not picking up speed too crazy fast, because on that steeper terrain, you know, even if you point it just for a second or two, you're going to pick up a ton of speed. So I hope that helps you out, man. Man, thank you guys for all the questions. I saw we're already over 150 likes. Appreciate it, guys. Let's see here. Reactor asking, how do you need to lean on your snowboard when you're going straight forward? So I would say when you're just trying to go straight, I keep my weight centered over both legs, slight bend in the knee, and I always keep a little bit of pressure on one of the edges, whether it's your toe edge or your heel edge. That's going to help prevent you from catching your edge. So if you stay really flat based, especially if you're going straight at higher speeds, it increases the chances of catching your edge, which is something you want to avoid. So I definitely would keep a little bit of pressure on one of your edges. All right, I see some super chats came through here. Aron with a super chat, appreciate it, man. When should you progress to an advanced snowboard? I would say, you know, it's definitely that's definitely a personal decision. I would say, you know, once you have that intermediate skill set, you know, you're kind of riding on whatever terrain that you want to ride on. You're not too limited anymore as far as the terrain you can explore on, and you're committed, you know, you're going to be riding 20-30 days a season. You know, maybe you're living near a resort, or you just have plans for a few trips throughout the year. I would say that might be a situation where it's definitely not a terrible idea to step up to getting a more advanced snowboard that has some of that higher end technologies in it. But the biggest thing, those are really the two biggest things in my opinion. I would say, you know, making sure that you're able to get around the mountain so you can kind of go where you want to go, and not kind of start to use those more advanced features or the more aggressive snowboard, and you know that you're committed to riding a good bit throughout the season, because it doesn't make much sense to spend, you know, $500-600 on a snowboard if you're only going to ride 5 days out of the year. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Hope that helps you out, man. And yeah, if you need any advice on picking out a snowboard, hit me up. Yeah, hit me up on Instagram, or check out the videos on the channel as well. Evan Thompson with the super chat, what is snowboarding? Is that that's like a philosophical question right there. I would say snowboarding is obviously, you know, there's the common mainstream, what you see, you know, sliding on snow at a resort. That's the majority of what you're doing on a snowboard. But for me, a lot of it, you know, is being able to make connections with other riders. You know, I've met pretty much all of my best friends through snowboarding, and just had a lot of really great experiences. And a huge thing for me is that a snowboard is a tool to get around nature in the mountains and explore terrain more quickly. You know, you get to places that you probably never thought you might be able to get to once you have those skills on a snowboard. So it's a really great tool to be able to use as well. I feel like that was probably not a serious question, but got a serious answer, Evan. So thank you for the super chat. Another super chat coming through here from Mini Kojo. Thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat. And Minnie's asking, I broke my wrist at the snow park 3 weeks ago. Oh no, man, I'm sorry to hear that. I now have a plate and screws. Do you think I'll be able to snowboard again before the end of the season? You know, that's really going to be something that your doctor is going to have to tell you, honestly. In my experience, you know, most injuries like that take about 6 weeks to heal. So it's, you know, depending on where you're at, I feel like there's still going to be snow around. You know, maybe if you're willing to travel somewhere nearby, you could probably definitely get on your board. Also with the wrist, it's not the worst injury for snowboarding, since you can kind of, you can still snowboard and just be very cautious, and, you know, if you fall, take it to the shoulder. But I'm not going to endorse that. I definitely would say listen to your doctor, do your physical therapy, and wait until you get some strength back in your wrist before you take it out there, because the last thing that you want, especially, sounds like you had to have surgery and it was a little bit of a more serious injury, the last thing that you want is to re-injure it because you went snowboarding for 1 or 2 days. You know, you're going to be way better off actually letting that go through a full recovery, you know, especially because I've been hasty with injuries before as well, and then regretted it, because you know, you got to recognize that things like that are with you for the rest of your life. So, you know, what's 2 weeks longer to make sure your wrist is back to 100% versus dealing with some kind of chronic wrist pain issue for the rest of your life or for the next few years. So that's my 2 cents on that. But I do hope that you get back out on the snow as soon as possible, Minnie. Sorry to hear that, man. Thank you for the super chat. It's me, Davis, with another super chat. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Love the videos, helped me out a lot. Any thoughts on the Nitro Team True Camber snowboard? Unfortunately, I have not tried that board. I'm not too familiar with it either. I'm hoping to get on some nitros. As I mentioned, you know, March and April are going to be the 2 biggest months for me to really be getting on a lot of snowboards. So I know I'll be getting on a lot of Solomons. I'll be getting on a bunch of battalions. I'm hoping to get on a bunch of Burtons as well as Nitro, and maybe some Capitas as well. So yeah, really just trying to fill up that entire 2-month window with board reviews. So I'll try to get on some nitros. I'll do the best I can for you. But you know, I will say that I am a fan of Camber, so that you got that going for it. But unfortunately, I can't give you too detailed of an answer, man. I'm sorry. Thank you for the super chat. Justin Vasey, what's up, Justin? What up, TJ? Freeride board recommendations for the girlfriend. So I would say one of the first board that comes to mind is the Wild Heart. So that's the K2 Wild Heart. It's actually the women's version of the K287, which is my personal freeride snowboard. I love it. It's just naturally wide. You can really lay it over, and it's got you know, a taper, smaller tail, skinnier tail than nose, camber underfoot, and a setback stance. So it's going to have really good powder performance as well as be a lot of fun for carving. You could also check out the Arbor Swoon, the Arbor Swoon Camber. I would recommend. You're gonna find grip tech on that guy, so it's gonna that's a nice little bonus. So it's gonna have some nice grip on ice. Yeah, big fan of the Arbors, and the Swoon is probably the most aggressive ladies board, and it's actually the only one that they offer in Camber. So I would check that one out. Also, you know, check out the top 5 freeride snowboard picks video. I do give you guys women's equivalent recommendations in that video as well. So check that out. There's 5 options for you in that video that I back all those boards. So check that one out, man. Appreciate the super chat, Justin. Ashley Pamela with the super chat. Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate you. Ashley says, I'm an intermediate, comfortable on blues, but no experience off the main trails. Are all back bowl areas for advanced only, or are there some that are only blue level steep? They seem like so much fun. Yeah, so pretty much once you go off the marked trails, I would say it's pretty much all going to be advanced. You know, maybe there might be some mellower zones, but it's, you know, you have to account for the terrain to get in and out of those zones as well, which is going to be ungroomed. A lot of it can be really steep, variable, you know, soft, good snow in some places, icy, chunky snow in other places. You really got to be ready for anything. So I would say if you can get out there with a friend who's already comfortable in that terrain and they can kind of show you around, maybe they know a good route through it, that would probably be the best way to start exploring that type of terrain. But I wouldn't say that it's really that intermediate friendly in general, depending on the resort you're at. But yeah, for the most part, like here in Colorado, from what I've seen in Whistler and all the places I've traveled, once you're in the trees, once you're in the back bowls, you really got to be ready for anything. So yeah, I hope you do get out there, but definitely play it safe. And yeah, my top recommendation would be to try to get out there with a friend or someone who's already familiar with that terrain. Man, the snow is starting to come down, guys. Actually, I feel pretty good. I'm wearing my mid layer under the hoodie because I knew it might start snowing. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it rolling outside, but yeah, I know you guys, I can kind of already see it coming through on the screen, so I'm hoping I don't get too wet out here, but we'll keep it going. I'm stoked that it's snowing, guys. I still haven't got to ride my yard park, just with all the traveling we've been doing, and the season in Colorado has actually been like very sporadic with the snowstorms. The snowpack this year is really, it's probably the worst it's been since I moved here, but that's going to be one of the videos that I am going to do once we're back from Japan. I'm sure March will come through with some storms, so that'll be some fun videos as well. I'm dying to set up the yard park. There's so many possibilities. All right, so we got some more super chats coming through here. Snow Moose with the super chat. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Hey from Denver. Sick, man. Got a Colorado resident on the stream here. First day on the battalion Evil Twin with the Union Force yesterday. Good choice. But man, what a great board. Thanks for all your help on the board info. Next purchase, boots. Any advice? So first of all, super stoked that is the setup that you went with. I've really been loving the Evil Twin this year. The Forces have been treating me right as well, so I think you made a great choice. Really versatile snowboard. I love the 3BT, and you know, I think yeah, the Evil Twin is just kind of a good do whatever snowboard, especially out here in Colorado, wherever you want to go. As far as boots go, I'm on the TM3 this year and I've been loving them. They're probably the most comfortable boots I've had so far. You know, they've got like all the bells and whistles basically from 32. They've got like the highest end, like a brand new liner from 32. You got adjustable flex in there with the inserts on the sides. It comes with built-in arch support. So they're definitely really solid. I've probably gotten 50 days on them, and so they're nice and broken in. They still feel great, and I would highly recommend them. They are a bit on the pricey side, so if you're looking for something maybe a little more kind of mid-range versus super high-end like the TM3, I would also advocate the 32 TM2. I rode those for 3 seasons and I loved them. They're a little bit stiffer than the TM3 though, so just a little bit more aggressive. They'll you know, give you a little more support, not quite as flexy and tweakable as the TM3s are once they break in, but I really like those. And if you want something that's just really comfortable and going to be, you know, nice and tweakable, not super crazy supportive, but still offer, you know, some decent support, check out the 32 Lashed. Those would kind of be the three top picks that I would recommend for you. And if you're looking for a BOA solution, check out the Ride Lasso. I like that boot a lot as well. Greg Moon, shout out for the super chat, Greg. Appreciate it, man. Getting fitted at a shop versus buying online and doing your own setup. Yeah, so I would say, you know, there's a give and a take when it comes to buying stuff at a shop. I think for boots, it's definitely better to go into the shop if you can. If you have a local shop, go in there. You can try on, you know, 3 or 4 different pairs of boots, and they can, you know, recommend kind of a good boot for your riding style and your price range. It's usually you know, if it's a good shop, they'll have a few options and you can try them on, which is nice. Also, you know, they'll be able to measure your foot and make sure you get in the exact proper size. But On the flip side, if you're looking at like say snowboards and bindings, a lot of times, especially this time of the year, the inventory is a little bit limited. You know, even at the beginning of the year, a shop is only going to carry, they only carry the brands that they carry, and they're going to try to find a solution for you that they have in the store, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. You know, just because, you know, say the board that I would recommend to you isn't, maybe your local shop doesn't have that board, so they're going to recommend something similar that's within their inventory. You're going to be looking at that kind of scenario. So just be aware of that. I would say if you're buying a board, you know, there's tons of resources out there, the videos I'm doing, as well as, you know, all the manufacturer resources that are online to check out. You can pretty much, you know, you can find out a lot about a snowboard and bindings and things, and then you have the whole internet as a resource to order that. So I think that's definitely a good way to go. Obviously, you know, you can help support the channel if you do that as well, which I appreciate. But yeah, for boots, you know, if you do order them online, I would say maybe you know, order a couple of different sizes, and or even a couple of different boots, so you can try them on and kind of do your own boot fit, and then return the ones that you don't like. So, you know, for say you know, with Evo, I know they offer you know, returns for up to a full year. So as long as you're going through a reputable company, you can make it work either way. But that's my 2 cents on that. Thanks for the question, Greg. That was a good question, man. Appreciate you. All right, got another super chat here from Genji625. Hey TJ, I ride a Decade 158 wide and I get on real well with it. Love carving and trying butters. What would you recommend as an upgrade? Cheers. Well, I would say I'm actually not familiar with the Decade from Ride. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've actually never seen that one in person, but if you're looking for something, actually now I'm not sure if you said charging or carving, but I'm gonna go with carving. But if you're looking for a board that is solid at carving and doing butters, you know, with the butters thing, that's gonna kind of that kind of makes me want to lean towards a twin style snowboard for you. So you know, the Battalion Magic Carpet is coming to mind. That one was really fun for carving, super buttery. It's also going to have that added powder performance with the POW 3BT, so that one could be worth checking out. I will say, you know, for carving, you're compromising by not going with the directional shape. Hands down, those directional shapes with the setback stance and the taper are going to do better for carving. And that was actually something I was considering talking about here on the live stream today, was not necessarily for a carving snowboard, although that kind of plays into it, but what makes a good powder snowboard. So I might take a few minutes here around the halfway mark and talk about that. We've been going for about 28 minutes now, so maybe here after another couple of questions, maybe once I get through these super chats, we'll talk about that for a little bit. But yeah, so we got the Battalion Magic Carpet, and I mean, for butters, you're not going to want to go too crazy stiff. The Arbor Gucci Pro comes to mind as well. You know, maybe the rocker version of that, or the Westmark rocker like Kevin has been riding, could be a good option as well. A little bit of a more mid-range, whereas the Gucci is going to have just a little bit of higher end tech in it. But that overall rocker shape is going to help with the butters. They're not too crazy stiff, and you know, they got the grip tech and all the other bells and whistles from Arbor to help with charging, going fast, and carving. So hope that helps you out, man. Thank you for the super chat. John Smith asking, camber or rocker? I've been always riding rocker boards. I took the Capita Mercury on a test drive and I thought I was going to accidentally kill somebody. So much speed and harder to turn. What's the catch? So yeah, that's kind of exactly you know, what you might feel if you've never ridden a camber board and you're really used to that rocker shape. You know, with the rocker boards, in the middle of the board, that's where it's going to kind of be the pivot point where the board can teeter-totter, and so that's going to act as a pivot point when you're carving as well. So it makes it a little bit easier to initiate turns, to swivel more quickly, has a looser, more forgiving feel as well. Going to be easier for butters, and easier for or it might help to float in powder a little bit as well, just because it's naturally kind of bent in that shape. But with camber, you know, especially with the Mercury, you're still going to get pretty good powder performance. The Mercury is pretty stiff, and if that's, you know, your first time ever on camber, I could imagine you probably felt really locked in on your edges, and that's actually kind of what most people are after when they're going on a camber snowboard. You know, that really locked in, powerful feeling. You know, you got to have your technique a little bit more precise to get the board to handle how you want it to, because, you know, it's not going to be loose like a rocker snowboard. It's going to be locked in. When you're standing on the board, it's activating that camber, pushing those contact points into the snow, so it gives you a very precise and powerful feel, which is honestly gonna make you a better snowboarder. It's gonna give you more control over the board, and it's gonna kind of allow you to ride more aggressively as well. So those are some of the benefits of camber. Personally, I prefer camber pretty much no matter what, whether I'm on a powder board or any kind of board. I just think, you know, as long as you get a board that's appropriate for the type of riding you're trying to do, you can make a camber board work in any situation. I do think that, you know, rocker obviously has a place, and rocker can be a lot of fun, but for the most part, I prefer camber. And yeah, so just real quick, yeah, for rocker, if you're looking for something looser, more forgiving, something that's going to float a little bit easier in powder without having a setback stance, and something that's going to be kind of more butterable with less effort, those are some of the advantages that you're going to get out of a rocker snowboard. All right, and Ashley Pamela with another super chat here. Thanks, Ashley. I'm improving my switch riding, but it still feels awkward. Does that feeling eventually go away? Thanks for the last answer. See you guys at Mount Hood. Awesome, thanks, Ashley. Yeah, that's a great moment to kind of talk about Mount Hood just for a minute. If you guys don't know, Kevin and I are going to be at Mount Hood for session 1 of High Cascade, so that's going to be mid-June, I believe, so still plenty of time to get a spot there if you'd like to come shred with us. Super excited about it. Really thankful High Cascade is going to have us out. It's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, we've been there the last 2 summers. It's probably one of the best, if not the best place for summer snowboarding, because not only do they have the facility, you know, away from the mountain with all the off-slope training stuff, trampolines, rollerboards, skate park, all that type of stuff, airbags. They also have the terrain parks on the hill that are super dialed. They keep them a lot of fun, and they change the terrain park completely every session. You also have the public park that you can ride, and a full top to bottom slope. So if you just want to go for some carving as well, it pretty much has everything. You know, it's not really that different from riding on a spring day at a mountain, you know, still in the winter season. So it's pretty rad. Stoked to see you there, Ashley. Looking forward to it. And yes, that awkward feeling does go away riding switch eventually. Just keep with it. You know, practice different tricks and maneuvers and things as you're riding switch. Get that carving feeling really comfortable. And I would say just, yeah, really focus on the technique, and, you know, making sure that you're initiating your turns properly. You're not scrubbing too much or accidentally, you know, going sideways flat base, so you don't catch your edge or anything bad like that. I definitely still don't feel as strong switch as regular. It's not exactly the same for me, but it's pretty similar, you know. Once you know, you'll hit a point where you're just gonna feel like it's no big deal. You know, you could land a jump switch, you can go really high speed switch, and yeah, that just comes with practice and time, so just stick with it. Beat Junkie, can you do a review of the Rome SDS Blackjack? I'm looking into buying this board. Your videos are sick, and keep them coming. Thanks, man, appreciate it. Yeah, definitely would love to hop on some more Romes. That's gonna be something, you know, hopefully coming in March and April. I haven't been in communication with Rome much this season, so no guarantees on that, but I'll do my best to get on it. Like I said, gonna just really try to do a different board every day. You know, hopefully up to 4 a week if possible. Just it's gonna just come down to logistics of getting the boards. So that's coming. Definitely want to get on some more Romes. I know that they've been underrepresented on the board reviews, but there's a couple out there on the channel.